topics. Yesterday we had a talk at the Neuro Lab NL Start Impulse meeting, and there was a talk by Ron Dahl, a really famous developmental neuroscientist. And what he said is that as a scientist, you should make sure that you have kind of a T-shaped profile. The top of the T indicates that you have a broad base and a broad interest, and you have one specialty. And for me, this is like, phew. And now the interesting thing is, what's my deep knowledge? In my work, I try to convert ideas and findings from neuroscience and psychology into education, often in the form of apps and games, but it's also a lot of fundamental and applied research in basically how do we learn and what can we optimize about learning based on basically fundamental insights on how we work. Yeah, that's what I do in a nutshell. That's an interesting question. Okay, now I'm kind of inclined to come up with a great plan that was behind it, but let's first have the pragmatic story and then the maybe grand plan that was behind it in retrospect. So my background is basically in all three of those fields, at least partly. So I have a background in AI a bit, a background in CNS a bit, and a background in psychology, and I've done a lot of things for education. And basically those things naturally combine now in my job. So, but yeah, sure, there's a reason why I chose all those things, of course. And I just have a really big passion for learning and for education and for improving it in any way I can, and this is the best way I can. And I think any of those fields would be lacking without the other ones. So basically only doing the technological side without thinking about the psychology and the brain side would be lacking, because basically, yeah, you can build technology for the technology without having any real understanding or any emphasis on how it comes across to a person or how they process it. And the other way around, in many cases, the ways to implement something, or the way to actually really implement insights we get from neuroscience or psychology into education, is actually partly through apps and games and through AI. And for me, anything without learning and education would just not be really interesting. I can't say it was a conscious plan to gather all the knowledge and skills I needed for example, my current job. To a large extent, it was basically doing what I liked most, and that was learning things and also acing exams, and also doing a lot of things on the side. Yeah, I was mostly a bit in a thrill of the challenge of doing as much as possible in as much as time as possible. Not sure that's always the best plan though, so, but okay, I learned from that, I hope. There's a distinction between what I expect the next revolution to be and what I hope the next revolution to be. I expect it to be, yeah, I think I expect it to be basically the already ongoing revolution of it fully personalized algorithm, AI-based recommendations for what you should learn when. And partly contributing to that by basically trying to build computational models of how, for example, your mental lexicon works when you're learning words. I don't hope that that's the revolution. Actually, not at all. Not even close. If anything, I would hope the revolution is that we basically think far more and design far more for the experience of the student rather than for the content per se. I think, if anything, a teacher and a school should be about designing learning experiences. And that's something else than thinking how you can convey content. And I think in the end, having a shift to learning experience and also involving far more learning experience design, but also game design and other design thinking principles, and also putting these teachers again in the seat of the designer of education. I hope that will be the real revolution. I think the biggest thing I always say to people considering a PhD is your pick of topic, your pick of supervisor is at least as important as your topic. Because in the end, if you have a supervisor that inspires you and it basically gives you what you need and what you want, and when basically you resonate with that person and you have the personal mentor of your dreams, then you basically also have the PhD of your dreams. I don't know of any job or study, depending on how you view it, where you have such a one-to-one relation with a mentor, basically, and that's a humongous chance and humongous opportunity, but also a humongous risk. And I think that should be advice number one to anyone, and to anyone considering a PhD, not to anyone considering a PhD, and also, and also if you have a job interview for a PhD, you should discuss, okay, what are the expectations from both sides, also in supervision style and everything. I think the common denominator, at least partly, maybe not true for all members, but at least in my small group, is that we basically have a passion for education. Let's start there. Without, it's going to be hard. And I think that would be we also have explicitly that in the job description. That's basically a big pro, at least. And the other thing, so this is a meta skills or interest. The other thing is actually being a team player. That would be another thing that I think should just be inherently in you if you're going into science. And I'm not saying I'm the perfect example, still learning. But yeah, at least being open to that is already a big step. Then for the more specifically about the educational part, neuroeducation. It hugely depends on what you're going to do specifically. That's hard to give one single answer there. But the common denominator is a passion for education, and then a useful set of skills, or the clear inclination and willingness to learn. One of the things I learned from my PhD, and I'm again still learning, but it's really something I try to do really explicitly also with my PhD students, is basically to ask for help. Because if you're used that everything goes really well, then you basically come to a PhD and damn, it doesn't go as smooth as you would like. So that's quite confrontational, but also highly educational. And I was, right after my PhD, I was standing in line for something, and I was talking with a friend, and he asked me, okay, what did you take from your PhD? And I said, I'm not sure, it was not my best time, also not the worst, but if I would take anything out of it, which I would now mention, it would tackling challenges, coping with setbacks, setting my own agenda, steering a team. I named a few of those personal skills in addition to the knowledge, but at that moment I was already starting my own company. And he said, that's a perfect preparation to be an entrepreneur. And I think realizing that you can also take those lessons from a PhD is actually highly valuable. Because sometimes it feels that the only thing you can do is, I don't know, make a Python or a MATLAB script. But actually you learn so much. But basically most colleagues, or the rest of the research center or university, is only focused on you doing the research and writing the papers. For that, ideally a PhD would just be more really like a mentor program, teaching you all the set of skills you need. And in a system where you have often single supervisors, single PhD student relationships, it changes a bit now, luckily. That's really hard to do because no supervisor can have all those skills. So that would be my dream for the future, at least for PhDs and the PhD system. That is really a mentoring program trying to make you develop as an academic in the broad sense, rather than some paper production machine.